Hey guys, it's Miss Lawson. I am here to bring you a new Freebie Friday draw along with the art teacher of a robot. So we are going to be drawing a robot. Now, if you can draw a circle, a rectangle, a square, curved lines, straight lines, then that's a robot right there. All of its pieces. We just have to put them together. Please remember, this is just a guide, and if you want to change the robot, any part of the robot, do it. Make it your own. So go grab your art supplies, meet me back here. Let's get started.
Let's talk about the supplies in my pencil pouch. Pencils, mechanical pencils, crayons, colored pencils, and markers are all great tools to use during our draw-alongs. Okay, we're going to be drawing a robot today. So I've got my paper, and it's just a cardstock, nothing fancy, and my permanent marker. Please remember what tools are great tools to be drawing with. You do not have to use exactly what I am using. Okay, if you can draw a square, a rectangle, and some curved lines, then you have mastered any robot. So I'm going to be doing my robot. If you would like to change anything at any point, please feel free to. We're going to start with our robot body. Now, just to ensure that I make sure I have enough room top to bottom, my little trick is folding your paper and getting your invisible line. And the reason we call it invisible is because I'm not drawing a line. I haven't marked it in any way. The crease is just a way for me to know kind of where the center is. So our first shape, which is the robot's body, is going to be right in the middle. So the middle of that body, the middle of the rectangle is going to have that line. So I want to leave room at the top for the head, the arms, and the legs. Most of the body shape is that invisible line going right down. So if you can't see it, there is the invisible line. So more of my rectangles on top than on bottom, but it's pretty close. So now that we have the body, we're going to move down to the legs. So the first shape, and again, we have two legs, so I want to make sure I know like where the center of my body is. So one leg here, one leg there, is a U coming off this rectangle. Now the next shape, the lines are more of a diagonal. It's going to be larger and then kind of smaller. Not much. I mean, very... And I'm not going to connect it because the next part is a curve. So the curve is going to come right there. So technically it's just two lines slowly kind of working their way in a bit. So the next part is going to be more of his boot. So again, it's another U, but the opposite direction. Touching those two lines. Now the part that touches to connect it is more of a curve because we're going to kind of do the shoe part of the boot. So I'm kind of going past. It's more of a curved. And then the bottom part is going to be more straight. And I bring it up. Some details. I'm just going to add a line right here. Maybe it looks like some bolts or screwed right here. Now we're going to do this exact same thing, opposite, facing the other direction. So are you, and again, I kind of want to match it up with the first set of lines I did already as best as I can. The somewhat diagonal lines going smaller. And then the other big U, I'm going to start right where I see that one. And then this curved line going the opposite direction. Straight. And they're not exact. And then those little details. Okay, now that we have his legs, we're going to move up to his arms. So the same kind of shape of that U, we're going to do it coming off the arm. Not as big. I'm kind of sticking with that shape coming off. Again, his arm, same thing. I'm going to start and actually go wider as I come out. So it's smaller as it touches the base, wider as it goes out. And then straight across. Now his arm is bendable, so I'm going to add these little curved lines for the detail. So it looks as if it's different lengths. And then again, that curved. And his fingers. Again, I'm not doing 5 fingers. I'm just going to do 4. If you can only do so many, I'm just doing kind of rectangle. Okay, now we are moving up to his neck and his head. So I'm going to do a thinner neck. So 2 lines and then a horizontal line going across like it bends. Now the head shape, I've kind of taken a rectangle and a circle and kind of mushed them together, a kind of a astronaut and a robot together. So the bottom is actually going to be more square. And I kind of look at his shoulders and don't want to make it this wide. I'm going to come in some. So the bottom, I've done it more square. And then that top is more as like the circle part. Make sure his neck is attached. And again, the same curved things coming off the side. I've kind of done kind of like his ears. And then one on top of his head. Now coming off, there's a line with the dot coming off the top. Now the side ones, I'm not coming out the side. I'm going to come off the top and do a circle, a little bit different. Again, kind of like an astronaut helmet. It has the big glass right here. So it doesn't really have eyes. This robot doesn't. And I'm just going to put like a little like thing, like it's glaring. And then his mouth, I'm going to do an upside down U. Little lines going. Now in his chest, this is where you can kind of customize it as your own buttons and gadgets, however you would like your robot. I'm going to add a few things. You can copy or change it. So the first thing I'm doing is like a needle for like kind of what he's feeling. So it's a curved line and then diagonal lines going in at the bottom and then a curved line. So this is kind of like his heart. I'm going to put a heart right here. And then the line kind of showing how he feels, and then the actual needle that would move. And then the box, so when his voice talks, you can see that it's moving up and down a line. So it's a rectangle. And then inside the rectangle, I'm just going to draw kind of a zigzaggy line. Kind of like he's speaking louder, speaking quiet. And then I'm just going to do some buttons. Circle buttons and a rectangle. And you just draw some lines. Okay, there is my robot. Again, feel free to change the inside things how you would want them. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my permanent marker away. I'm going to grab what I'm using to add color. Now, robots are normally known for being gray. So I think I have the same color, dolphin gray and gray, and we'll see how dark they are. And I may end up using a colored pencil to kind of add some shading to my robot. I mean, I even have a silver colored pencil. That would be something you could use to make it a little more robot looking, or some type of crown. So you have lots of different options on how you would like to color your robot. So I'm going to figure out what I'm doing. I'm just going to play with it on a piece of paper, kind of like my sketch pad, what I use to draw it, and figure out what I would like to use. Okay, I think I've changed my mind. I may go on colored pencil and crown for the darker. Okay, so for the robot, if you didn't have a silver or any kind of gray, a pencil color technically is a gray. So you can see, like, I mean, this is just a regular pencil I'm doing right here next to my doodles, and they're all in the same color tone. So even a light pencil would get you the same effect as a colored pencil. Now, I did use a light blue for the kind of what would be the glass on my robot. So now I'm going to take my darker gray, which is my crown, and I'm going to add like a darker version on this left side. So I'm kind of doing it to the glass also, just kind of pushing a little bit harder on this left side than I would blend it in as I move across, lightening up on my pencil. So again, I'm just going to take this and make it a little bit more darker on this left side, as if the light is shining on him from this direction. And if you don't know how to shade, it's an easy technique that adds a lot of oomph to your drawings. And again, I'm going to go over my black lines. You can see I got a little lazy with my coloring, and I didn't want to have to color every section, so I just went straight over everything. So in a minute, I'm going to take my black and go back over those lines. As you can see, I'm just doing it on the left side. And then I'll take my colored pencil and try to blend it in a little better. And if you didn't have a darker gray, you could just take the same color like I did with the blue and just push a little harder to make it a little bit darker on that side. Okay. Again, I think I'm going to go back over my lines. I kind of went out of the lines over here. Okay. I think I like them. You know what? I think I'm going to add one more thing down here on his boots. I feel like he needs an extra layer. Just going to leave him white. Okay, I hope you enjoyed drawing your robot with me. Again, hope you customized your own robot.
Guys, thanks for joining me drawing this draw along robot. Again, every Friday I try to drop, and I say try because, again, I am a parent and things happen. A free draw along lesson that you can join me, keep up with me during the summer. So every Friday, make sure you check Facebook or Instagram to see what draw along is dropping for you.